It's officially the day, guys. Hey guys, so I'm Nina, and if you guys don't know, I am a reseller on Poshmark and Depop, and today is my official 1-year anniversary on Poshmark. So I joined Poshmark June 19th, 2018. I didn't really know about reselling when I started. I started just selling stuff from my own closet. I started to sell it because I had gained a lot of weight in a short period of time, so most of my clothes did not fit me anymore, and I had a lot of clothes. I gave probably like 10 garbage bags, like big black garbage bags full of clothes, to Goodwill, and that wasn't even all of my clothes. And I was like so upset that I had bought all these items and then now I couldn't fit in them. And so I was like, I really wish that I could sell these. It wasn't yard sale season. Didn't know how to sell them. I was like, well, let's try selling them online. Like, sometimes people do that. And I don't remember how I found out about Poshmark, but that is where I decided to list some of the clothes. And I listed some items and I was like, wow, this is super easy to list them, but I've never shipped anything. So if someone buys something, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Anyway, I shortly got my first sale afterwards, and I got super excited about it because I had never sold anything online, and I was like, oh my god, like, it's working. So I sold a pair of jeans, high-waisted blue jeans that I really loved. They were like my favorite, but there's no way I'd ever fit in them again. Anyway, I sold them, and I started to panic because I didn't know how to ship something. I figured it out. I shipped them the same day that they sold, and I was like super pumped. I was like, oh my gosh, like, that's awesome. And then I shortly sold a couple other items, and I really liked the experience of making money off my clothes. And soon I just started seeing things, and I'm just like, oh, I bet I could sell that online, you know, like just out and about, like in a store or something. And I'd be like, oh, I could totally sell that shirt that she's wearing right now for 20 bucks, you know? And I don't know, it just started me on this little journey. I soon found YouTube videos on it, and it just like started that inspiration, I guess. I started watching The Deal Queen. I think she was the first reseller I ever found. So I started watching The Deal Queen, and then Empty Hanger, and then a couple others, and I got really into everything they were saying, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, like, I should totally try this. And I did, and I really liked it. I am nowhere near the success that they have at the moment. I mean, to date, I'll tell you all my stats and everything. I'm just not as active on Poshmark as I was. I did have some success, not like that. And then it kind of slowly died down, and I got really into Depop. I've been on Depop for less than a year, and I've sold more on Depop than I have on Poshmark, if that tells you anything. So let's go over some stats. So right now I have 177 active listings for a total value of $3,741. I have 62% off the original discount, and in the last 30 days I've only shared 5,527 self-shares. That is a very low number because I have not been very active on Poshmark, and because of that I have not had many sales. So in 1 year I have sold 97 items for a total of $1,072. So that is not a huge number at all, but for someone who didn't take it too seriously, and that really, after like the first couple months that I had Poshmark, I wasn't active, and then I got into like a reseller mode, and then the last 4 months I haven't really been too active on Poshmark. So for me, I think that number's good. I mean, that's $1,000 that I didn't have before. So that is kind of like the net earning that doesn't include what I spent on the item and stuff. I have 0.9 days to ship on average. I usually ship the same day or next day if possible. And I have a 4.9 average rating. Have 34,035 followers, and I follow 7,821. So what has been my experience? I think overall it's great. I mean, I made money that I didn't have before. There are instances where you're going to get an annoying customer or a rude customer or a bad review that kind of like makes you upset. Or you'll have a Posh case open. If you haven't had one open, congrats, that's awesome. I have had one Poshmark case opened on me, and they were totally right to do so. There was a flaw in the item that I totally missed. There was no drawstring in these pants. When I listed them, I did think they looked a little big, but I didn't see a flaw. So the drawstring was actually inside of the pants. So I didn't notice that there was supposed to be a drawstring at all because the little holes weren't on the outside. I didn't look on the inside. So when they got the pants, they were much too big because there was no drawstring on the inside, and so they opened a case against me. And I sent like Poshmark. I was like, yo, like, they're right. I'm happy to take the return and give them their money back. So they did send me the pants back, and then they got their money back. And I think I just redonated those pants to Goodwill. But it wasn't hostile. She was, understanding, and I was understanding. But it was a panic because I didn't know that was a thing at the time. I didn't know Posh cases were a thing, and I don't know. It just really shook me. You will get lowballers. A lot of people complain about lowballers. I don't mind them on Poshmark. I always counteroffer, and if I have an item listed at $25 and they offer me $5, yeah, that's kind of annoying, but I always counter. And sometimes they will come up drastically. They just want to see if you will take if they will get that good bargain, because some people will accept random $5, So my experience with lowballers, let me tell you, one specific case, I had an item listed at like $45, and someone offered me like $12 or something. And I really love this jacket. And I got super excited when I saw an offer came, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's nowhere near what I believe this is worth. So I counter offered like $35 or something, and she counter offered a couple dollars difference, and I accepted. So she came up drastically. She came up to like $30. When she originally offered only $12, and some people would have just declined that right away. So I think when you decline right away and don't even open your mind, you're shutting off potential customers and potential sales. So yeah, that's my experience with lowballers. I don't really have any bad buying experience. I've bought off the app 3 times. I'm not huge on buying things online. All 3 times I didn't like what I ended up with, but that was not because of the seller. The seller was nice. I gave them all good reviews. It just didn't fit me, or it just didn't look right on me, and it wasn't what I was hoping. So my first purchase was a bundle of 3 dresses. 2 of the dresses were much too big. One of the dresses fit me, but it wasn't one that I really like. I didn't spend too much money. It was listed for $4 for all 3 of them. And so I bought it, and I didn't really like the purchase, but the person wrapped it nicely. They included a thank you card. They were very nice. They gave me a great deal on it, so they got a 5-star review and a love note. My second purchase was a bundle of 2 bathing suits, and both of them just looked really bad on me because I'm very insecure about my body. So, I mean, they got a 5-star review because it came as expected. And then I bought a pair of jeans. They were beautiful jeans. They were in great condition, wrapped beautifully. They just did not fit me. They were like 2 sizes too small. Like, they were listed as the correct size, but they just didn't fit me. I realized some of the things that I thought were important on Poshmark weren't really important. Community shares are encouraged, and they're awesome to boost up your fellow Poshers, but it's not like an end-all type of thing. If you don't do it, you're not gonna lose much, When I originally got on the app, I didn't realize, like, if you liked things, they could send you offers. I kind of used it as Instagram, and I just liked, like, everybody's post, I guess. That's not the way to do it. Just what works for someone might not work for you. So certain brands might not work for you. The type of photography might not work for you. And you really got to find your own thing. The reason why I moved away from Poshmark is because the audience isn't necessarily what I'm looking for. A lot of the stuff that I'm interested in selling is vintage, graphic tees, anything from like Y2K era and under, and then like the exceptions of like some cool graphic tees here and there and some funky toys and stuff like that. Poshmark audience is more preppy boho style. Brands are very important. Poshmark is very brand oriented, I feel. A lot of my items are vintage items that you know, the brand is washed out, or it's not a brand that is in the Poshmark search thing. It's not a popular brand, but the item is still really dope. So that is what I sell, and I feel like the audience on Poshmark isn't my target. That's why I shifted to Depop. It's much more my style. It's much more younger and trendier, and Poshmark's a little bit more uppity, I guess, is a way to say it. I'm not trying to be rude by saying that, but that's more of the audience's any late 20s to 40s, I feel, is like the Poshmark audience, when Depop is, you know, 15 to mid 20s. So there's a difference there in the audience, and I prefer Depop. But Poshmark has served me well. I'm still going to list things. I'm still going to try. I'm just not trying as hard on Poshmark as I am on Depop. And that is my year in review, I guess. You know, I could give you the tips, but, you know, I'm still figuring out myself, and my tips are pretty much the same as everyone else's. Use natural light, have flattering photos, do the photos in square mode, find good items, but that could vary on what your definition is of a good item. Sometimes that just means a good brand. Sometimes that means the condition of the item. Sometimes it means, does the item actually look pretty dope, or is it just a basic t-shirt, you know? Be descriptive. Use trigger words. Put the brand in your title. Put measurements in, because a lot of people are going to ask you for measurements, and it's a hassle to grab it out of inventory and measure it afterwards. Just measure it when you list it. I started doing that recently because I kept getting messages over and over to ask me to model and to get measurements. So now I just do both automatically. I model every item that I can. Sometimes the item doesn't fit me, so I can't. And I automatically include measurements into my listings. So yeah, that is really all I have to say, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!